So if you're new to Path of Exile 2, you probably heard that you need to purchase a couple of stash tabs. We're going to go through these today to currently talk about which ones are actually worth buying with your points, especially if you bought some of the early access bundles, you get some points and you probably want to spend those points. So first of all, we're going to load up the shop and head to the shop tab. And then from the shop tab, we're going to head to the stash tab. We're going to talk through these in order just so you can actually know which ones are worth purchasing. Now, first of all, we have the gem stash tab. I would recommend probably buying one of these because you can literally get a ton of gems while you're progressing through the campaign and in endgame. As you can see here, it's really nice because it sorts the gems out into levels. So if you need a higher level, you can do that. It saves you a bit of time from actually filtering through all the gems you've collected while through the campaign, because you just shove them in here and they just separate them nice and easy for you. So you can see your support gems, you can then see your skill gems, and if you really want to, you can click on these tabs here to show you all of the ones that you actually want. It's really nice and very simple, so I would recommend purchasing one of those. Next, we've got the flask stash tabs. Now, honestly, when you get a flask, it's like most of the normal items. You're going to look at a flask and go, that's pretty crap, and then yeet it into the bin. You're just going to sell it, or you're going to dismantle it, or do whatever you do with your normal flasks. Having a flask stash tab is just a waste of currency. If I'm honest with you, with points, don't bother with the flask stash tab at all. Now, upgrade to premium stash tab. This one is pretty good because you're going to need a premium stash tab if you actually want to sell on the trading website. If you're not currently able to trade on the trading website, you're going to need a premium stash tab to do that. So upgrading to a premium stash tab is a must for most players. Currency stash tab, again, also brilliant. There are tons of currencies in the game. Having a currency stash tab is probably a must. I would say every player should probably buy a currency stash tab, just because it really does make having your currencies look very neat. Like if we open up my stash here, you can see all the different currencies that I'm storing, and it just keeps them in little sections so you can easily see them when you come to your stash. Now, the premium quad stash tab is for those of you who, I guess if you like to have a trash tab and you just fill that up, because it's very quick to fill up your trashed tab during endgame. You just get so much loot. You have to make multiple trips on maps if you don't have a loot filter on. So having a premium quad stash tab, which is a premium tab, but 4 times the amount of the regular space your normal stash tab has, which is just absolutely fantastic. If you need the space, this is definitely worth buying, especially if you need that premium stash tab as well to trade. For everyone else though, you don't really need this. It is really good for those who are selling a lot of stuff more than anyone else. Alright, Essence Stash Tab is next. You do get a ton of essences. There's multiple different kinds. And if you do start to play a lot of the endgame, you're going to collect a ton, and that's going to take up a lot of space. Having an Essence Stash Tab will help with that. If you're not collecting a lot of essences though, I would say that this is not really a priority for you to purchase. But if you are collecting a ton of essences and you do have an issue with how much space they're taking up, then I would go out and purchase an Essence Stash Tab. Now, we have spoken about the premium stash tabs. That's mainly for people who are trading, so if you need more premium stash tabs, then feel free to buy those. You can buy an extra stash tab at any point as well if you feel like you're running out of space with your regular ones. I think this is probably lower down on the list unless you are someone who's running out of space, so don't worry about purchasing extra stash tabs if you're a new player. Now, unique collection tab is honestly just quality of life. You don't need it. And I know that some people will, because what you remember with this game is a lot of the uniques are absolutely trash, right? It's nice to be able to store uniques, sure. It looks fancy, yeah. It's going to make your life look tidier by playing Path of Exile, just by being able to stash your uniques in here. But most of the uniques you get, you're going to end up dismantling them, selling them, or just getting rid of them in general anyway. You're not going to really keep a collection of them, unless you're like a really hardcore player who knows exactly what every single unique does. So this is kind of like lower down on the recommendation list for new players. Then we have the Delirium Stash Tab. Now, you do get a few Delirium stuff, but I feel like you don't really need the Stash Tab for these. It looks like there's enough Delirium in the game that you could probably just put these in one Stash Tab and be happy. Obviously, if you like to make your stashes look neat, then sure, go ahead and buy it. But other than that, this isn't a must-purchase Stash Tab. That's pretty much it. You've got all the Stash Tabs. The ones I recommend buying for new players: definitely get a gem stash tab just to make it look neater. You definitely want a currency stash tab. Every player in the game should buy a currency stash tab, and also upgrade at least one of your stash tabs to a premium stash tab so you can sell things on the market. Everything else though is up to you, and Essence stash tab is quite nice though just because of the space it saves, but that is completely up to you. The must-have ones is upgrade to premium and the currency stash tab. I hope this video did help you, and if it did, then please click like and subscribe for more Path of Exile 2 videos in the future, and I'll see you again in the next one.